I just put on your ear and sun in your makeup and that was it. Oh, that is amazing. Everyone in the same room, everyone in exactly the same place you were sitting. Telly G? What is that? CD? You're always out there with the same telly. I know one of my the thing where like they have so many rooms for also, our full conversation is probably right now. Andrew Murray's in Second A. I mean, I think he might be here. Guys more than just a car.
I just got the you got my music waiting
So really helps you. I think she speaks minimum, but one of North and South Lanark Carrier. North Central. North the best. Also, I think he doesn't know that you're back
Hello everyone! What's been done? Can everyone get on their feet please? Os gwiliheddar a chai sefalami nwyd briodi Zoe Andrew. Please be outstanding for the Murrays! I'll do it again. Yes, can I use the palm? Chain bigger, everyone. You got more energy than that, people. More Okay, you can take your fabulous seats. Shall we begin with some speeches, everyone?
We got it.
This is a wedding. I said, are we ready for some speeches? Fabulous. Okay, first up, a man who has worn a kilt for the first time tonight amongst fabulous is, of course, father of the bride, Amadeo Brooks.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Thanks so much. Welcome everybody. That's all the rush. I don't know what he was speaking earlier, but welcome. Thank you all for coming tonight. It's this afternoon or night, I'm not sure. But thanks for travelling. Some of you had horrendous journeys, I know, yesterday, and we appreciate all of us who joined us today to make this a special day for us all. Some of you come from the USA. Well done to you. You think it's fine, you get an old man who'll forget all his speech now. So you okay. Tough crowd. It was going to be 10 minutes and now we'll be 20 minutes. Okay. I'm a little bit nervous about speaking, as you've just noticed. Yeah. Thank you for that. Mainly because when I start to speak, I've been married 38 years, and let's face it, after about 10 seconds, I just give it to my wife and she carries on from there. But my job is to speak about my daughter Zoe. Other people are going to speak about Andrew, I'll leave that to you. And a little bit about marriage at the end and giving some advice. So let's start with Zoe. Don't get too nervous. If you want to know the real juicy stories, buy me a drink later. I'll absolutely tell you everything you want to know. But Zoe is beautiful, I can say that for a start. I'm so proud of her. It was a me next to you made you look a bit more beautiful. But what can I say about Zoe? There's a number of things that I'll say just to pick you up. She's not only beautiful, I think through my life I've learned you're a determined person, organised, has been said this morning, fashionable, creative, she's got a bit of musical talent, and she's very organised, I'd say that, confident, generous, loving and caring. Lots of words we can talk about. I want to talk about a few of those words and talk about her life with us. I must say, we've had 32 years of unbroken joy with Zoe. Absolutely 32 years. You're 34, aren't you? The first 2 years really were depicted by constant crime and envy, followed by vomiting. I'm used to wearing a jacket with vomit on the back, so if it's there today, don't worry. She's quite a shy child. I know that's unbelievable, but she wasn't, weren't you? You were quite a shy child, but a really hard-working child, and no problem to us as parents. But a fashionista from the start. We put her to bed in her pyjamas, have a bath, and so on. Go and look at her later. She's emptied all the wardrobes. She's got 3 layers of clothing on, usually socks on her hands and things like that. The clothes for school next day were changed for other clothes, and that was a start. But I don't think I can argue with her fashion sense, because again today we've seen Zoe choose an absolutely fantastic dress. I was made to look at the wall and I turn and stare at it, and that was the first cry today. If anybody did sweep, it was about, what time is that? About 1:15. So it's already got the prize on that one. Artistic as well. Creative and artistic, as I say. I kept a few things because as a father you do these things, but you can see. When I go to bed at night, there'd be a drawing on my pillow or a little message or something. So I just kept one of them. It's nice things to do. I had a card to a spelling one grade. 25, I think you were. To a special, brilliant dad. To Dad, I love you when you wink and smile. You remind me of a crocodile. I'm very tall and thin, look at that. What happened? Well, I don't know. And it goes on. I'm getting on this one. You are so handsome. Mum is lucky she didn't marry a ducky. Picture of a duck as well. So artistic and creativity went on and has gone on right way up to today. A lot of the wedding things were her doing. And then I think the other thing is singing. I'm going to talk about with Zoe. I think singing turned her into a confident person, really. I talked about the shy child, but in school she started singing, in church she started singing, and it really made her outgoing, confident person. So we've followed you in choirs, we followed you solo singing, and musical theatre with the guys here today. And I'll stop there and say, what a fantastic job you singers did today. Absolutely brilliant. I think we got another turn a bit later. But we'll try and convince you. And I tell you what, you've never experienced fatherly pride. It's been talked about today, until you go to a theatre in Edinburgh and you see your daughter on stage in her underwear dancing on a double bed. Thanks. We were obviously surprised when you came up to live in Scotland, work in Scotland. It was talked about this morning. Work was part of it. Andrew became part of it. We probably think we were part of it as well, because every boy that came was given a derogatory nickname by me. I think the first boy called Jeffrey for years, and he was Jeremy, wouldn't he? Mum would come to him. I usually saw him off. Pasta tuna bake was a killer. And anyway, when we met Andrew, I think we hit it off first, mainly because he took us to bars and fed us and so on in Edinburgh. So he's very much become part of our family, and we're happy that the move happened. And there's such great friends around Edinburgh for Zoe. I've lost my way in what I was going to talk about now. Yes. Yeah, we love Andrew from the moment we met him. He's a great chap. Politics, yes, I was mentioned this morning. We had to have Franz Ferdinand explain to us last night. So, George and Lynn, thank you for bringing him the way off. He's a proud guy. So we and Andrew travel quite a lot, and therefore some stories come up through travel. And my first experience of travel was when we were teaching her to drive. I think it's the only time in our lives we've really argued quite a lot. I thought she couldn't drive, she thought she could. But I survived, and she is a good driver today, I'll give her that. And then there's, if we go through trains, planes and automobiles, we've had automobiles, let's go to planes. The girls will probably know this story. So we went through Edinburgh Airport, thinking it's okay to take a case full of Play-Doh. And security had another thought, it might be Semtex. So I think we spent that flight going through security for quite a while. You were strip searched. You were told off. Did the Play-Doh go?
We still use the Play-Doh. It's for penis.
I don't want to know. I didn't want to know what the Play-Doh was. I sort of guessed. Trains. That was a recent one. These modern trains now, so we treated the whole train recently to a view of her as the electronic door in the toilet swung open, and she was trying to get it closed. What can I say? Keep away from her when she's travelling, or go if you want some entertainment. And that reminds me of Zoe, as a little girl. These family members remember she had the most gruff and hoarse little voice. Which went into a nice singing voice later, well, I think it did, didn't it? But her cry was often, in the best situations, I want to pee. Having said those things, we have lots of similar traits. We're the ones who want to organise things and plan things. We got a spreadsheet. There was a file of facts about that thick for the wedding, and everything's ticked. I think you gave up last night, didn't you? The sheets are in the back of my car, unticked. But I've got to say to Zoe, she's done a marvellous job on this wedding, because Andrew and Anne have learned just to sit back and take it and do your task list, because it would come up in a meeting later on. Well done for today. I'm one of the proudest men, obviously, to walk down those stairs this morning. You made me look at the wall for a while, I didn't know what that was about. But apparently they wanted impact, didn't you? I don't know if there was any. And I don't think there was, but look at his face. And anyway, I'm going to move on and talk about marriage, I think, rather than you now. And a few things to say. I love the tradition in Scotland, the wedding kilt. It's my first thing today, Doctor said. And I think it really sets the start of the marriage off. Let's face it, from today, she's wearing the trousers. I like it. The old one's the best. So. Don't go to sleep angry. Don't go to sleep angry. That's the advice people give. Stay up and fight. That's fine. And it keeps things going all night. Seriously now, getting married is not about finding the one you can live with. It's about finding the one you can't live without. And furthermore, a bit of businessy speak. You're a team now. And I think what we've learned in life, you've got to back each other up, you listen to each other, self goes aside, and you put the other first more often than you dare. And you cry together, you laugh together, and hopefully it'll be more of the latter, won't it? And that's what I would hope for you. Mum and I are Christians, and we believe in spiritual health in your family, and you can be hopefully assured to know that you'll be in a number of our prayers, that God will bless you, God will give you a happy life, and be merciful to you. And that's what we want to do. I'm going to wind up. You'll be thankful to know. I'm going to give you advice I've said elsewhere, but it comes from my mother. And she said to me, after my dad died, I only wish I told him I cared for him and loved him more. And I think that's what I'd say to you and everybody in the room. If you do that more, love multiplies and problems are halved. Now then, I'm going to cry, so we're going to stop there. And it's going on. So if you raise your glasses, stand if you can. And we toast bride and groom.
And then a huge round of applause for Okay, up next, our groom himself, Andrew. You ready? You got it.
Hello everyone, I'm going to introduce myself. I really hope everyone knows here who I am today. There are many people here today, but firstly I'd like to thank you all on behalf of my wife. Dave mentioned this earlier, but people have travelled from not just across the UK, but from across the wider world to be with us today. I think the furthest flung attendee is Zoe's cousin Richard and his wife, who travelled all the way from Pennsylvania, I think it was. Zoe said it was Pennsylvania, so it might not be the United States. So thank you so much for coming here today. I'd also like to thank Zoe's dad, Dave, for his very lovely speech. I've written here. I've written here, and thanks for not crying that much. But you actually didn't even cry at all. So, I thought you were going to cry more, to be honest. Yeah, you got all the tears out earlier in the day. I'd also like to thank the woman in the giant hat over there. The only thing bigger than her hat is her heart.
Brownie points.
Great line. She's been nicer to me over the years, and I've always been incredibly welcoming. Whether that's taking her to dinner, using a restaurant and several social classes below, or welcoming me into their home. And speaking of their home, they have the cleanest home I've ever seen. Anne is like a human Roomba. It's unbelievable. And I think she's the only person in the world who actually Febrezes their dog. Every day. And so, when it says safe for pets in the bottle, I don't think. On a serious note, both of them have been absolutely amazing throughout the whole wedding process, and it's no exaggeration for me to say, I think Zoe will agree with, that we cannot have done this without you, so thank you so much for everything you've done to us. Likewise, I'd like to thank my parents, George and Lynn, slightly smaller for helping make today possible, as well as their general support over the years. Whether that's been helping me through both my degrees that I did, helping Zoe and I buy our first flat, or helping us out today. We wouldn't be here today without you, so thank you so much. The venue we chose, which I hope you agree is lovely, is pretty much Helmsdale, where my family's from, and the south of Wales. And this wasn't that by design at all, we just liked the place, but it is equally annoying for everyone to get to. And speaking of Helmsdale, this wedding ended up falling on the day of the Helmsdale Highland Games. She knows it. So, but for those of you who don't know it, like Ruth, it's like the Helmsdale cultural equivalent of the annual Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca. But instead of walking around a cube, people drink in a field. So just a big thank you for everyone who gave up the opportunity to drink lukewarm tins of Tennent's in a field to be here tonight. I actually wrote here as well, drinking overpriced pints of Tennent's, but the prices are very reasonable. So sorry, Tim, the prices are fantastic. Yeah, so I'll remove that line. I'd also like to thank my groomsmen Kyle and Sean, not just for their help today. Doing all their groomsmen things that they kind of did to various degrees and various levels of success. Special thanks to Sean as well. He was at another wedding last night in England, so he was sober enough to drive today, which is fantastic. So thanks for making it over. Today obviously would have been possible as well without Shrub, my best man, as well as his husband Phil. They've always been a massive source of support for Zoe and I, and they've been immense help with this wedding. Phil's done so much of the brilliant graphic design here today, the Rollo, vinyl, most of the stuff around here is all Phil, so thank you so much. I'd also like to thank Zoe's stunning bridesmaids, Stacey, Elle, and Charlotte, and her dashing bridesperson, Dom. You all mean the world to Zoe, and she's incredibly grateful for everything you've done for her. That's not just today, but over the years. And Zoe also normally takes about 2 hours to get ready to go to Sainsbury's, so a very good job getting her ready on time for the ceremony today. So that was no mean feat, I imagine. We've also been treated to some fantastic musical performances today, initially from Zoe's very talented friends. So this is Stacey, Laura, Greg, Joe, Louisa, Dom, and Flick. They were absolutely fantastic. Very moving. And also laterally, we missed this from getting photos, but yeah, Jack, my friend Jack McClucky, played some acoustic music for you, I think, so a massive thank you. So yeah, just from Zoe and I, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to lend us your fantastic musical talents. It's really much appreciated. Now, on to the most important person of the day, and my favourite person from Wales. And of course, speaking about Rollo, our son. Sadly, Rollo decided not to attend after we told him he couldn't bring his toy sheep as a plus one. But he sends his best wishes, and he's left you all a pack of Rollos on the table. Finally, on a serious note, on to my beautiful wife. The hay fever was quite bad today as well. It was a small tear. I just didn't have my antihistamines, that's all. So Zoe and I, you've heard from Vaughn, have been together for over 7 years now. Having now used to work together for a pretty terrible company, I think everyone over there knows it or has worked there. There's a few of them over there called Press Data. At that job, I made some amazing friends, some of them who are here today. But the best part of that terrible job was, of course, meeting Zoe. My first impression of Zoe was she's very pretty, funny and smart, but also sometimes I just couldn't understand what she was saying. I also remember her being baffled that I didn't know what the word cooch meant. I mean, I don't know no one uses that term outside Wales. However, despite that language barrier, we made it work. Zoe moved up to Edinburgh, where she learned what a Raj and a Ned is. Something you learn very quick in the centre of Edinburgh. I soon got to hear Zoe sing on a very regular basis with a voice that matched her beauty. She's an absolutely incredible singer, and every time she sings, it just completely blows me away. However, sadly, she's too humble to sing at her own wedding, so we've had to pay for a wedding band. As I've mentioned during the ceremony, one of the things I absolutely love about Zoe most is her passion and work ethic. She worked for months, if not years, to make today possible. She probably did about 98% of the work. Well, maybe unfair, maybe 96%. Maybe 4%. So for the past year, our flat has been full to the brim of like vases, pampas grasses. Like, I think we've probably like been responsible for doubling Sheehan's annual revenue profits. We've bought from them. And our flat is kind of feels like you're living in an episode of Extreme Hoarders UK. So release some of that stuff. However, I wouldn't have had it any other way because it just encapsulates who she is as a person. So Zoe, I'm so excited to spend the rest of my life with you. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I wouldn't be who I am today without you. I'm also very excited for our flat not to be full of wedding related. So please, if anyone would like some pampas grass or some other glass things, please take them with you. So I'd like to give a little toast to my beautiful bride Zoe. Zoe.
One more time for Asher, everyone! I don't think this is actually what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm doing it anyway. Yeah. Okay, on to our third and final speech is another Andrew, bracket shrub. Well, our best man. Round of applause, please, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. I was going to say good afternoon in Welsh, but Dom did such perfect Welsh that I figured that it probably would be offensive in Welsh. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrew, or as everyone's been referring to me today, including the wedding officiant, I'm known as Shrub. It's a ridiculous nickname with a remarkably unremarkable origin story, and was coined none other than by the groom himself. For the formalities today, I will use my Sunday name, Shrubbingmore. It is my pleasure today to represent the wedding party as best man, and return the favour to Andrew, who acted as my best man earlier this year, and delivered such an impeccable speech. Genuinely, I had people coming up to me saying, "That was the best man speech I've ever heard." And I was like, wow, the pressure is on me. It's almost as if he wrote speeches professionally for politicians and others. Anyway, he went at me to the point where I thought I might have had a solicitor present. So this is my revenge. This is my comeback song. And for those of you who know the reference, F you right back. I have been Andrew's best friend for 31 years. And as the saying goes, you get less for murder. We first met in 1993, and to highlight how long ago that was, Meatloaf's I'd Do Anything for Love was #1 in the charts. John Major was the British Prime Minister. Amazon didn't exist. And Andrew still couldn't hold the bladder for longer than 20 minutes. He thinks now, apparently. I first met Andrew when my family relocated from Inverness to our ancestral home of Helmsdale, which is a tiny village on the north-east coast of Sutherland in the Scottish Highlands. There's a few people here today from Helmsdale, so give us a wave. Andrew and I grew up in the same street, and we lived directly opposite the Murray. You may wonder what bonded us in the beginning, and I will tell you, it wasn't the deep philosophical conversations or sheer love of the arts. No, it was because Andrew had a Sega Mega Drive. And when you're 6 years old, friendship really just means hanging out with the kid with the coolest toys. Andrew had them all. He had a Lego collection worthy of a museum. He had the crown jewel of any kid in the 90s, a holographic Charizard Pokemon card. And how do you acquire these Pokemon cards? In a shrewd Del Boy-esque move, the 10-year-old Andrew acquired a series of rare Pokemon cards by convincing the kid next door to trade. This kid was not the brightest bulb. Let's just say he was playing checkers and Andrew was playing chess. He had it was the equivalent of Sherlock Holmes negotiating with Mr. Bean. And Andrew saw this opportunity and seized it. In modern day terms, it was the equivalent of trading a yo-yo for a PlayStation 5. But Andrew wasn't just known for his gaming skills. He also had a special talent for, and I'm sure Lynn and George will remember this too, He was a very flatulent child. He was quite the expert in this, and he took great pride in it. I actually remember Lynn trying to limit Andrew from drinking Robinson's diluting juice. A valiant effort to curb these eruptions. Unfortunately, it was a battle she was bound to lose. Andrew had no shame in this, even in high society. One day, when local aristocrat Sir Michael Wigan, the 6th Baronet of Wigan, even came to pick up his daughter from their house, Andrew decided it was the perfect moment to give him a trumpeting performance straight from his bowels. It was a grand display that left Sir Michael looking stunned and slightly horrified. Andrew's dad, George, he was understandably mortified, rather upset. And whilst Andrew played it off as an accident, I remember clearly that he had indulged the forbidden Robinsons just before the performance. And needless to say, the Mega Drive was banned. When Andrew moved from Helmsdale Primary into Golspie High School, Andrew and I, along with others in the room today, had the distinct pleasure of attending what was at one point the worst performing secondary school in Scotland, which probably explains a lot. Outside of school, Andrew really shined in his job working for the local business mogul Ian McLeod, also better known as Potsy. He was a bit of a Potsy was a bit of a character, like something straight from a Dickens novel. Running a small empire in Helmsdale, which included the local petrol station, a hardware store, and what was possibly the most expensive taxi service in the Western world. Potsy was so committed to the principles of capitalism that he once kept the taxi meter running whilst his customer, an elderly widow, was laying flowers on her husband's grave. That is true. I suppose it was this blatant display of ruthless Thatcherism that inspired Andrew to study politics at university and become an active member of the Labour Party. Andrew worked at the petrol station alongside Chris McMillan. He's here today. He also had a brief and, let's say, less than stellar stint as a sales assistant in the hardware store. Andrew had a unique approach to customer service, often declaring, "We don't sell that," before even looking for it. He was much better at refueling the cars in the petrol station, but as an accountant, I would question the accuracy of the bookkeeping. If he were to audit the petrol station now, I'm not quite sure the petrol that Andrew and Chris supplied to their friends would quite reconcile to the payments that received. But creativity wasn't just confined to the worlds of accounting in this petrol station. I vividly remember an artistic moment when Andrew and Chris used a biro pen to create a masterpiece on the walls of the petrol station. This artistic flair might have not been appreciated by Potsy as it depicted one of his lovers, but it certainly left an impression on those who saw it. After emerging from Golspie High School with an impressive range of hires, Andrew moved to Stirling to attend university a year after myself. And by coincidence, he, along with various others in the room today, lived in the same halls of residence that I stayed in the previous year. He literally did follow me everywhere. A building that was designed on the architecture of a prison and was demolished shortly afterwards and did not legally comply with the Health and Housing Act of Scotland. It set the tone for our remaining years at university, where we lived in various privately rented flats, which also did not comply with the Health and Housing Act. We lived with a flatmate who believed you didn't need to wash towels because the water from your body kept them clean. We lived in another flat where a drug dealer lived next door who had the audacity to complain about the noise levels from our parties. And most disgusting of all, their flat on King Street in Stirling, where there was more chance of uncovering the lost city of Atlantis than a clean plate. It wasn't possible to move any limbs without knocking over a tower of pizza boxes, and even had an area known as the filth cupboard. Whilst at university, Andrew got a job as a sales assistant in Gaming Station, where he was introduced to Stirling's black market of J-keys. And for the Welsh in the room, that's like a Scottish word for a vagrant. They were trying to trade in third-hand PlayStation 2 games, which were often covered in questionable substances. Speaking of questionable substances, we all know at university is a time for trying new things. Our friend Gib, who's here today, a dedicated pioneer of herbal remedies, decided one day to share some of these remedies with Andrew and our other flatmates. When I came home from work one evening, I found Andrew and the gang enjoying some of Gibbs' brownies a bit too much. It seemed they might have had one too many, as paranoia had soon set in. Before long, I found myself on the phone to NHS 24, arranging for paramedics to come and check on me. Thankfully, this was pre-Tory authority, so the paramedics arrived on time. Although they clearly didn't think it was an emergency. In fact, one of them was struggling to keep a straight face. They offered to take Andrew and the gang to hospital. The prescription was simply to have a cup of tea and go to bed. To cap it all off, one of the paramedics said with a grin, "Never let them forget this." And believe me, I have not. For someone who now socialises with the upper echelons of society, from charity to executives, cabinet ministers, and Zoe's parents, his university days were a bit different. It is just as well the People's Postcode Lottery pre-employment screening fails to comb through social media accounts before making a hiring decision, as Andrew has donned some rather risque fancy dress costumes over the years. The politest of which include Miss Alaska, to Pokemon's Misty and Alice in Wonderland, and more controversially, Osama bin Laden. There is a further costume which Andrew has donned at university, and I genuinely don't want him to lose his job. So if anyone is interested, there is a paywall for this material. Please see me at the bar later, card, cash, backed, all accepted. Andrew graduated from university with an impressive degree and then completed a Master's in International Conflict and Cooperation, where he met two of his closest friends, my fellow groomsman Sean Toohey and the wonderful Dave Russell. I have here that he's single, ladies, but actually he isn't now. So. His first job was working with Scottish Labour MSP Neil Findlay, where he worked for free. This taste for working directly in politics must have left a lasting impression as he continued to pursue this career, working at PR agency PPS, the media monitoring unit of the Scottish Government, and then assuming a post at Press Data, where he took a shine to a certain Welsh girl working in the Cardiff office. Andrew and Zoe bonded over their hatred for IT Director Gordon Hartford, or Goha as he liked to be known, and the HR Director Sheena's belligerence for basic employment law. Their relationship became Facebook official in 2016, and Andrew brought Zoe along to Phil and I's flat warming in Lanark Road. When I first met Zoe, I thought, oh my god, she is absolutely gorgeous. And I was utterly astounded that Andrew had somehow managed to trick her into his girlfriend. I, of course, am joking, and it was quite clear from the get-go this time it was different. I have known Andrew for 31 years, and there is a reason he is still in my life after all of this time. And it is clear that Zoe was also able to see the remarkable man that he is. After doing the long distance between Scotland and Wales, Zoe moved to Edinburgh to begin her Scottish life. She quickly became acquainted with Edinburgh's theatre scene, and Phil and I are proud to count ourselves amongst her most loyal fans. We have seen Zoe perform in a plethora of diverse theatrical roles, which is testament to her talent. We have seen her star as activist Rita in Maiden Dagenham, the deranged Lucy in A Good Boy Charlie Brown, Sandy D in Grease, and my all-time favourite, as David mentioned, when she gyrated a teddy bear live on stage in the King's Theatre as Linda in The Wedding Singer. I am sure that everyone in this room today will agree that Zoe is an enormously talented woman. With a powerhouse voice, and we are incredibly lucky to have Zoe sing at our own wedding in April this year. She brought tears to everyone in the room, even my dad. Andrew and Zoe followed Phil and I to Lanark Road, where they bought a flat 3 doors away from us. The humanist said 2 doors earlier. Technically it was 3, if you include the stairwell. Going from full 360 from Simpson Crescent, Helmsdale to Lanark Road, Edinburgh. It was in this flat they welcomed Rollo, their long-haired miniature dachshund, to their home. Our own dog, Luna, the King Charles Spaniel, a descendant of British royalty. The introduction of a foreigner into their neighbourhood was not in keeping with their values. However, Luna has very much grown to love Rollo, and we are very lucky that Andrew and Zoe are on hand to dog sit Luna, and that our border has increased her prices. And that brings us right up to the engagement. When Andrew and Zoe got engaged, it did not surprise me in any way. They are absolutely perfect for each other, and despite their differences on paper, the gorgeous, talented, popular, bubbly Welsh beauty And then the man whose ideal holiday destination is the Battle of Stalingrad. They are absolutely perfect for each other. And just like those at Stalingrad, you are no doubt becoming famished. So I will begin to wrap my speech up. I want to express my gratitude to the bridal party today, to Elle, Charlotte, Stacey and Dom. You all look absolutely stunning. Your hard work and your kindness and your generosity have made this day possible, and Andrew and Zoe are very lucky to have you all in their lives. Thank you for being such a special part of their journey. Zoe, having you become such a big part of Phil and I's life has been really wonderful. You are such an incredibly kind person, and you are so easy to get along with. I absolutely love your sense of humour, and you are genuinely one of the few people I have met in my life who are as beautiful on the inside as they are on the out. Andrew is blessed to have found you. I could not wish for a better wife for my best friend. And you're absolutely stunning today. And Andrew is so lucky that this room has so many gay men in it. To Andrew, other than my parents and my sister, you have known me longer than anyone else. You are as much a brother to me as anyone in my family. You have been present at every stage of my life. You have been such an incredible, loyal and selfless friend to me over the years. You were the first person that I came out to, and your support and love during this time was of profound importance to me. To stand here today as your best man is the greatest honour, and I genuinely love you very much. The wedding today was absolutely beautiful, and I know from experience how much work goes into planning an event like this. You, Zoe, has done such an exceptional job, ensuring all such a fantastic day, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone here today that you have succeeded in all fronts. Yay! On behalf of the groomsmen, the bridesmaids, the bridesman, it is my heartfelt privilege to ask you all to join me in raising a glass to the amazing bride and groom, Andrew and Zoe.
Okay, one more time, just a toast to the Murrays, everyone, if you got any drink left. The Murrays, okay? I have been told that dinner will be served in 15 minutes. Now is the time for bathroom breaks, any bar top-ups. Dinner will